Hey everybody, at the movies with Film Brown here at you. Got a fun film for you. You see these films that come out of PRC or Monogram and people kind of turn their nose up thinking that they want to mosey over to Warner Brothers or MGM or something like that. But I'm not one of those types. Give me a film like One Body Too Many, 1944, and I might at first think, I've read bad things about this film. It's one of those Bela Lugosi type of things, it's in the 40s there where he's starting to make his nosedive, but this is a fun movie. This is a remarkably fun movie. Matter of fact, I enjoyed almost every second of this film. One Body Too Many. Now, what might have made this film work really well for us is that it's directed by old Frank McDonald, who does the lights of Old Santa Fe and the Bells of Rosarita. He's more of a Roy Rogers type of guy. So he's got that sense of action, and he's got some pretty quick editing going on in this film, and I think that's what gives this some energy. This film also has, let's talk a little bit about what this film is about. It's about this millionaire. It's one of those films, again, where you got people called in to hear a will being read. And part of the stipulation of the will is that they don't get to know who got what until this millionaire, who is somewhat of a star nut. He's an astrologer, and he believes that he wants to be buried inside of his observatory, up in the air. And the whole point is that they're not going to hear the end of what they're going to win, I guess, with the will, until he is, ensconced in the air. And the stipulation, if he's buried in the ground, everything gets reversed in the will. So sort of like the totem pole gets turned upside down. So that's kind of an interesting angle. So you get all these people coming in to hear this will, and you get this one body too many, The body is important. They got to protect it. So they call this private detective to come in, and things get kind of wacky. Now, what makes it even more wacky is who stumbles into this whole thing is Jack Haley. Jack Haley, you remember him as the Tin Man, and a lot of 20th Century Fox musicals and things like that too. He's an insurance agent who had an appointment prior to the demise of the millionaire to set up a life insurance policy. So Jack Haley stumbles into this whole mess. It's got Gene Parker in it as well. Gene Parker, remember from Bluebeard, does a nice job in this thing. Bela Lugosi plays a butler. And there's a running gag throughout this whole film about, this coffee that they keep trying to serve to folks all the time. And it's kind of fun. How that coffee kind of pops up and the excuses that they use not to drink the coffee. Also has one scene in here that reminds me of Dreyer's Vampire. Remember in that film, the protagonist in that film at one point thinks that he has died and he's in a coffin, and they're carrying that coffin along, and you get the shot of him inside the coffin and point of view shots of him looking out as a dead man of trees passing overhead. There's a great scene in here where Jack Haley actually gets himself into a coffin, and they carry him off and they throw him into a pond. And he sees points of view shots of goldfish giving him a hard time. Nice comic bit. Now, I'm not sure if the writers Winston Miller and Maxwell Shane or Frank McDonald were of the types who knew Dreyer's Vampire. And you wouldn't have to come up with a gag like that, but it's a nice parody of it, no matter how you look at it. Well, I think you're going to enjoy this. Take a look, too. One of the main guys listening to find out who is getting what in the will is old Lyle Talbot. Remember Lyle Talbot? Coming to us from the Ed Wood stuff like Jailbait, Plan 9 from Outer Space, and Mesa of Lost Women. He was the narrator of that, while at the same time doing the Ozzie and Harriet show. What a strange, wacky mix that is all about. I think you're going to enjoy One Body Too Many, 1944. Roll 'em, Smokey.